Rain hammered the city like it was trying to wash it away. I stood by the window, phone in hand, reading her last message again. Mara's text. He's not who you think. Those 6 words had burned through me for hours. I'd called her, texted her, nothing. By midnight, the police said to wait 24 hours. But I couldn't. The clock hit 2:07 a.m. when someone knocked. I froze. 3 slow knocks. Then silence. My chest tightened as I opened the door. He stood there, soaked through, shivering. Callan. His eyes lifted to mine. The same face, the same jawline, the same tiny scar above his lip. But the look wasn't right. He stared like I was a stranger. Aaron, he said softly, I need your help. I stepped back, heart pounding. Where's Mara? He blinked, confused. Mara? The way he said her name made my stomach drop. You don't remember? He frowned, touching his head. I woke up in my car. My phone was smashed. My keys were gone. I don't know how I got there. Lightning flashed behind him. For a moment, his eyes caught the light, and something about them felt empty. Come in, I said. He hesitated like he was waiting for permission. When he stepped inside, he left muddy prints across my floor. His shirt clung to his skin. I grabbed a towel, trying not to stare at the bruise blooming along his wrist. What happened to your hand? He looked down like he hadn't noticed. I don't know. I think someone grabbed me. I reached out to inspect it. He flinched violently. My hand froze midair. Callan, it's me, I said quietly. You're safe. He backed away. Don't touch me, that voice. It was his tone, but not his warmth. He looked around the apartment like he'd never seen it before. You live alone now? He asked. What do you mean now? You helped me move in here. His brow furrowed. No, I didn't. I studied him. Callan, what's the last thing you remember? He took a shaky breath. Dinner with Mara. She said she wanted to talk about something. Then, nothing. Just black. Then I woke up near the old bridge. The old bridge. Mara's favorite spot. Did you fight with her? No. His answer was too fast. You're lying. I'm not, he said sharply. Then softer. At least I don't think I am. I sat across from him, searching his face. The same face I'd known for years. But his body language was wrong. Callan was always smug, confident. This man was tense, almost fragile. The air between us thickened. The rain outside turned into a low roar. I showed him Mora's last text. She said, he's not who you think. What did she mean? He stared at the screen, lips parting. Maybe she found out something. About me? About you? He looked at me then, and for the first time, fear flickered in his eyes. I don't know who I am right now, he whispered. Something in me cracked. My best friend. The man who was supposed to marry the woman I loved, standing here. Looking like him, sounding like him, but not him. You need to rest, I said, though my own voice shook. He nodded. I handed him a blanket. Our fingers brushed. His skin was ice cold. Thank you, he murmured, eyes downcast. I didn't know where else to go. He sat on the couch, staring at nothing. I stayed standing. Watching him, the longer I looked, the stranger it felt. His posture, the rhythm of his breathing, even the way he smiled faintly when he noticed me. Watching Callan never smiled like that. I swallowed hard. Callan, what if you're not who you think? He turned slowly toward me. What are you saying? The power flickered. For one split second, the room went black. When the lights returned, he was still staring at me. But his eyes were different. Not empty. Sharp. Focused, I think. He said quietly, someone's pretending to be me. I froze. Then who are you? He looked down, voice trembling. I don't know. But I'm scared of what you'll find out. The storm outside screamed against the windows. My heart pounded. Every instinct in me said to run. But something deeper kept me rooted there. The sound of his breathing, the way he looked at, meant not like a friend. but like someone reaching for something they'd already lost. "Stay here tonight," I said finally. He nodded. "Only if you lock the door." I turned the key. When I looked back, he was watching me again. His lips parted slightly as if he wanted to say something, but instead, he whispered, "Aaron, do you believe me?" I wanted to answer, but then I saw the reflection in the window behind him, his eyes. They weren't Callan's color. They were a darker shade, and they were watching me like they knew I'd noticed. The hum of the fluorescent lights in the police station felt like it was drilling into my skull. I watched the officer stamp the final page of the report. His ID checks out. Fingerprints match. He's Callan Red. I looked at the man sitting beside me. Same face, same hands, same scar, but not the same soul. "Are you sure?" I asked, my voice lower than I meant. The officer sighed. "Sir, I don't know what you're suggesting. Your friend isn't missing." She turned to him. "You're free to go, Mr. Reed?" He nodded politely. Too politely. Callan never thanked cops. We stepped out into the rain. The air was cold enough to sting. I shoved my hands in my pockets. He walked beside me, quiet, like a shadow trying not to be seen. "Do you really not remember anything from the last 2 days?" I asked. He glanced at me, water dripping from his hair. "I told you. It's blank." "You remember me, though?" He hesitated. "You're Aaron more than that." I stopped walking. "We've known each other for 15 years. You used to sneak into my parents' yard to steal apples." His brows drew together. "I did?" My stomach turned. "You don't remember? Want to?" But when I try, it's like my mind hits a wall. I stepped closer, staring into those eyes I thought I knew. "What's the last thing you do remember?" He swallowed hard. Her voice. "Mara." He nodded. She was crying. She said something about not being able to hide anymore. Then I woke up in that car. The rain intensified, drowning the city in white noise. I took a step back. "You're not him." He stared at me, something pained flickering in his eyes. "You keep saying that? 'Cause Callan didn't talk like this?" "He didn't look at me like this. How am I looking at you?" I didn't answer. The silence said enough. We parted ways near my building. I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Mara's last text. "He's not who you think." By morning, I convinced myself I was overreacting. By night, the knock came again. 3 soft taps. I opened the door. He stood there, drenched again, shaking. "I didn't know where else to go," he said. "Why are you here?" His lips trembled. "Something's wrong with me. I keep seeing flashes." "A hallway," her face. "Your name?" He pressed his palms to his temples. "It hurts." My instinct screamed to shut the door, but I couldn't. "Come in," I said. He stepped inside. Rainwater pooled at his feet. His breathing was unsteady. "Sit down." He dropped onto the couch, head in his hands. "I feel like I'm falling into someone else's life." He said that before I meant it. His voice cracked. "Everyone says I'm Callan. The world believes it. But when I look at you, it feels wrong." The words caught me off guard. "Why me?" He looked up slowly. "Because you look at me like I'm not supposed to exist?" I froze. The sound of thunder rolled through the apartment. He rubbed his hands together, shivering. "I shouldn't be here." "You're already here," I said softly. He looked at me then, really looked. There was something raw in his gaze. Something that felt too intimate for a stranger and too alien for a friend. "You trust your gut, don't you?" he asked. "Most of the time?" "Then tell me, who do you think I am?" I took a slow breath. "I don't know." "But you're not him." His shoulders slumped. "Maybe I don't want to be." Lightning flashed again, lighting up his face in a sudden burst. I noticed the faint scar behind his arrow scar Callan didn't have. He caught me staring. "What is it?" "Nothing." I stepped back. "You should rest." He nodded weakly. "Can I stay here tonight?" Every nerve screamed no, but guilt won. "Just for tonight." He smiled faintly. "Thank you." I handed him a towel. Our fingers brushed. A spark jolted through me. Familiar. Dangerous. I pulled away fast. He noticed. "You're afraid of me," he said. "I'm afraid of what I don't understand." He leaned forward slightly. "Then maybe we can understand it together." His voice was low, careful, almost tender. For a moment, I forgot the storm, forgot the fear. There was only that voice and the look in his eyes. I turned away, pretending to check the lock. Try to sleep. "We'll talk in the morning." As I switched off the lamp, his voice came from the dark. "Aaron, what?" Silence. Then quietly, "I don't think I'm Callan, but I think I loved her too." My breath caught. The storm outside cracked open the sky, and for the first time, I wasn't sure which one of us was lying. The rain hadn't stopped since the night she vanished. It clung to the windows of Mara's apartment, as if the sky refused to forget her too. I stood in her living room with him beside me. The man who looked like Callan. The man who said he wasn't. Everything's exactly how she left it. I said quietly. He scanned the room, his fingers brushing over the counter, the framed photo of her smiling between us. "No," he said softly. "It feels empty." I opened her closet. Empty hangers swayed gently. Her scent was gone. Even her perfume bottle was missing. "She packed," I whispered. "But why leave her camera?" It sat on the counter, red light blinking, recording. "Did you turn it on?" I asked. He shook his head. "No." "Should I?" I hesitated, then pressed play. Static. Then her voice. "Mara, if you're watching this, something's gone wrong." My stomach turned. She was standing right where I was now. Her hair messy, eyes glassy from crying. "Mara, I think they found me." Both of them. Lightning flared through the window behind her. And then, for a fraction of a second, I saw a figure in the reflection, tall, standing in the corner, and another behind it too. Men, identical. The room spun. I paused the video. "There," I said, pointing. "Do you see it?" He stepped closer. His face went pale. "That's not me, you're in the reflection." He shook his head violently. "That's not me. That's him." "Who is him?" He didn't answer. His hands trembled as he pressed them to his face. "You said you lost your memory," I said. "But you remember her voice, her face? What aren't you telling me?" "I don't know what's real anymore." His voice cracked. "Every night I dream of her standing by the window. She says my name, but it's not Callan, she calls. It's something else." "What name?" He looked up, eyes dark and uncertain. "Cade." The name hung in the air like a curse. "Is that your real name?" "I don't know. Maybe it's his. Maybe it's mine." I turned back to the video. My fingers were shaking now too. Mara on screen. If I disappear, it's because I trusted the wrong one. My throat went dry. The wrong one? He took a step closer to the screen. His voice dropped to a whisper. "She thought she knew us apart, but she didn't." I turned to him. "You're saying she knew there were two of you?" He nodded. "She found out the night before she vanished." "How?" "She followed Callan to the cabin outside the city. I told her not to go. She said she had to see for herself." "You told her?" I snapped. "You were in contact with her." He flinched at my tone. I was trying to protect her by lying. He stepped closer, his face inches from mine. "If I wanted to hurt her, I wouldn't be standing here helping you." The tension between us tightened like a wire. His breath brushed my jaw, and for a heartbeat I forgot to move. Then the camera beeped. Recording ended. The final frame froze Mara, turning toward the lens, her lips moving. I hit replay and leaned in. Her voice came through, faint, under the thunder. "Mara, don't trust him." "What?" The screen went black. I stepped back, heart pounding. "She was talking about you." He looked shattered. "You don't believe me? How can I?" He took another step forward. "Because when I look at you, I remember how she smiled when she said your name. I remember what she said before she left." "What did she say?" He swallowed hard. She said I'd understand once I saw you. My head spun. What does that even mean? Before he could answer, lightning hit nearby. The lights flickered. A photo frame fell to the ground, glass shattering across the floor. He didn't move, just stared at the shards. She was afraid of us both. She had a reason, I said. He looked up. Maybe, but you need to know something, Aaron. What? I think she's still alive. I stared at him. You said you didn't remember anything? I didn't, until now. He touched his chest. When I saw her face on that screen, something came back. Her hand in mine. Her saying she had to disappear before he found her. My pulse raced. Who's he? He met my eyes. The one wearing my face? The wind howled through the half-open window. The curtain twisted like something alive. I turned back to the laptop, replaying Mara's whisper again and again. Don't trust him. But the question burned deeper every time. Which him did she mean? I woke to the sound of rain tapping the windows again. The storm hadn't left since Mara did. The room was dim, the faint smell of coffee still in the air from last night. I blinked, trying to shake off the dream, the one where Mara stood at the end of a dark hallway, whispering my name before fading into shadow. Then I felt it, a hand over mine. I froze. He was asleep beside me on the couch. His head rested against the armrest, face relaxed in the soft gray light. His fingers, warm and steady, covered my hand like they belonged there. My chest tightened. For a moment, it felt peaceful. Too peaceful. Then reality hit. I pulled my hand away fast. He stirred, eyes opening slowly. You were shaking, he said, voice still rough from sleep. I'm fine, I muttered. You shouldn't be here. Sat up, running a hand through his hair. You told me to stay. I didn't tell you to sleep next to me. He looked at me, a small, tired smile playing on his lips. I didn't plan to. You fell asleep first.
Ow.
The silence that followed was heavy. The kind of silence where every breath felt like a secret. I stood and went to the kitchen, pouring myself water just to break the tension. You said your name was Cade last night. Was that the truth? He hesitated before answering. I think so. You think so? He looked down at his hands. Every time I close my eyes, I see flashes. My mother's voice. 2 birthdays. 2 beds. 2 names. Callan and Cade. My grip on the glass tightened. Twins. He nodded slowly. It explains why I look like him, doesn't it? I didn't reply. Instead, I grabbed Mara's old journal from the shelf. I hadn't touched it since she vanished. Something about it felt too personal. It's like opening it would make her more gone. But I opened it now. Between the pages was a small photograph worn at the edges. 2 boys, about 10, identical. Standing beside a lake, smiling. Below. In her handwriting, Callan and Cade. My breath caught. She knew. I whispered. He looked up sharply. What? Mara knew about you. She wrote your name. He took the photo from my hand, tracing the faces with his thumb. Then she remembered me. Remembered? I said, What do you mean remembered? He looked away, eyes distant. Our father made sure no one did. I stepped closer. You're saying you were erased? He nodded once. Callan was the perfect son. I wasn't. When our mother left, I went with her. He stayed. We were never supposed to meet again. Until Mara, I said quietly. She found me, he said. She wanted to understand why Callan changed after meeting her. She said she felt like she was being watched even when she was alone. I felt my pulse quicken. You were watching her? He shook his head hard. No, I was protecting her. Callan wasn't the man you thought he was. I clenched my jaw. You expect me to believe that? I don't expect anything, he said. But you asked for the truth. That's it. I looked at him, really looked at him. The exhaustion in his face, the quiet tremor in his voice. There was no arrogance, no charm like Callan had. Only regret. Why didn't she tell me? I said, voice breaking. She knew there were 2 of you. Why didn't she tell me? He stood, closing the distance between us. because she didn't know which one to trust. I met his gaze. And which one are you? He took a slow step forward. The one who didn't lie to her? His nearness made the air tighten between us. His eyes searched mine like he was trying to find something familiar. I don't know what to believe, I whispered. He reached up, fingers brushing my wrist. The contact sent a jolt through me. You don't have to believe me, he said softly. Just believe that I cared for her. Maybe too much. I pulled back. So that's what this is? Guilt? He smiled faintly. If guilt could bring her back, I'd drown in it. The words hit harder than I expected. Thunder rumbled in the distance. He looked down at the photo again. If you want to find Mara, he said, voice trembling, you'll have to pretend I'm him. I stared at him. What? He met my eyes. Everyone believes I'm Callan. The police. Her co-workers. If we want answers, we need to keep it that way. I felt the floor tilt beneath me. You want me to lie? I want you to help me save her. Stepped back, breath quickening. You're asking me to trust the man she warned me about. Moved closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. No, I'm asking you to trust the one she didn't. The storm outside cracked open the night, and for the first time, I couldn't tell if I was standing in front of my enemy or the only person who could bring her back. The reflection in the mirror wasn't mine. It was his, Callan's face. Callan's posture, but it wasn't him. It was Cade, the man who shouldn't exist. Buttoning a shirt that used to hang in my fiancé's closet. You don't have to look so terrified, Cade said quietly, adjusting the cufflinks. You're supposed to act like you trust me. I'm supposed to act like I believe you, I corrected. That's not the same thing, he turned, a faint smirk flickering across his lips. Close enough. The scent of Callan's colon-spiced cedar and something darker hung between us. It used to mean comfort. Now, it just meant confusion. We were heading to dinner with Callan's colleagues, the ones who swore nothing was wrong, that he'd been the same as always before. Mara disappeared. But I'd seen the video. I'd seen them. Remember what to say, Cade murmured as we walked into the restaurant. I'm Callan. You're my partner. We're fine. Fine, I echoed, though my throat felt tight. Inside, laughter and glass clinks filled the air. The place was warm, golden, and too bright. Cade moved like he belonged there, like he'd lived this life before. I followed every step feeling like trespass, when one of Callan's friends, Lydia, waved. Cade slipped his arm around my waist. Play along, he whispered, lips close enough that his breath brushed my ear. I stiffened, heart pounding. Lydia smiled. You two look great. It's good to see you, Callan. You've been quiet lately. Cade chuckled, low and steady, trying to keep out of trouble. She laughed. You. Impossible. The table filled with talk projects, clients, rumors, but I barely heard a word. My attention kept catching on the way Cade mimicked Callan's tone, the little gestures, the way his hand rested lightly on my back whenever someone looked our way. It was perfect. Too perfect. When the waiter poured wine, I leaned closer and whispered, You've done this before. He didn't look at me. Pretending? Yes, maybe, he said. Maybe pretending is the only thing that keeps me alive. Something flickered in his eyes. Grief maybe, or longing. I couldn't tell. Dinner blurred into murmured laughter and clinking cutlery. Every time I thought I could breathe again, his fingers brushed mine under the table. Once, when someone asked about Mara, his grip tightened. What about her? Lydia asked. Still no word? Cade glanced at me before replying, No, but we'll find her. The way he said we made my pulse quicken. When we left, rain had started again, soft and cold. We stood under the awning, waiting for the taxi. He exhaled, shoulders tense. You did well. You're good at this, I said. Almost like you enjoy being him. He turned to face me. The streetlight caught the edge of his jaw, his eyes darker than the night. You think this is easy for me? You're wearing his life like a suit, I said. You fit too well. His jaw tightened. You have no idea what it feels like to live in someone else's shadow. I lost someone too, I said. You don't get to act like pain is yours alone. He stepped closer. The rain hissed on the pavement around us. Then stop looking at me like I'm him. I'm not. Yes, you are. His voice broke. Every time I look at you, I see the way she looked at him. And it kills me. Silence. Just the rain. Just us. Then headlights flashed and he took a step back. We need to stay focused, he said. Focused, I repeated, even as my heart refused to listen. The taxi ride home was quiet. The kind of quiet that hummed with unsaid things at my apartment. I turned the key, but his hand caught mine. Just a touch, soft but firm. If we're going to do this, he said, you need to stop doubting me. And if I don't, he looked down, voice barely a whisper, then you might not survive what's coming. I wanted to pull away. Instead, I found myself holding on tighter. Inside, the air was heavy. He shrugged off his jacket, eyes darting to the table where Mara's camera still sat. She left us clues, he said. We just have to follow them. I nodded, even though everything inside me screamed that this was a mistake. Then my phone buzzed. A message. No name. Just words glowing on the screen. You shouldn't have trusted the twin. My stomach dropped. Cade saw my face pale. What is it? I turned the screen toward him. He read it once. Then again. His expression didn't change, but his voice did. Low. Fractured. Which twin do they mean? The rain outside grew louder, and I realized for the first time I wasn't sure either. The storm hadn't stopped for 3 days. It felt like the city was drowning with me. I was sitting on the floor of Mara's old studio, surrounded by her things, her camera gear. Half-developed film, coffee-stained notes. The air smelled faintly of her perfume, like jasmine and ink. I'd been searching for hours when my hand brushed something taped under her desk. A small black drive. No label, my chest tightened. Cade, I called out. Come here. He walked in, barefoot, hair still damp from a shower. What did you find? I held up the drive. This was hidden. He hesitated. You think she meant for you to see it? I think she meant for someone too. The laptop's light cut through the darkness as I plugged it in. A single video file appeared. Mara_truth.mp4. I clicked play. The screen flickered to life. Mara, sitting right here in this room. Her eyes were red from crying, but her voice was calm. Callan and I fought tonight, she said. He thinks I don't trust him. But it's not about him. It's about what I saw. My throat closed. Cade moved closer, the glow from the screen brushing across his face. Mara continued. If anything happens to me, tell Aaron to find Cade. She paused, her lips trembling. Then she smiled faintly. He's the one who loves him enough to tell the truth. I froze. The words hit like lightning. Loves him, I whispered. What does that mean? Cade's breath hitched. Aaron, wait. I turned to him. Did you know about this? He looked torn, like every word hurt to speak. She found out about us before I did. About what? That I wasn't supposed to exist in your world. That's not an answer. His jaw tightened. She thought Callan would hurt you if you learned the truth. So she came to me. She wanted me to protect you. I stepped back. Protect me from what? From Fiance. From my best friend? He didn't reply. The silence between us was heavy, electric. She said, you loved me. My voice cracked. Did you? Cade's eyes met mine. I still do. The room went still. Before I could speak, the laptop screen flickered again. A final frame, Mara, looking straight into the lens. Trust your heart, Aaron. It knows the difference between them. Then the screen went black. I didn't know if I was shaking from rage or fear. You said you wanted to find her, I said. But you've been hiding this. You and her. Cade stepped closer, his voice raw. You think I wanted her gone? I'm trying to fix what he broke. Who broke it? He didn't answer. The sound of glass shattering cut through the tension. The window. I turned, heart pounding. A shadow darted across the room. Someone was inside. Stay here, Cade ordered. Rushing toward the figure. The intruder grabbed the laptop, yanking out the drive. I lunged forward, but he shoved me hard into the table. Pain shot through my shoulder as I hit the ground. "Cade," I shouted. He caught the intruder's arm, twisting it, but the man slammed an elbow into his ribs and broke free. The door burst open. I stumbled after him, barefoot on the wet street. "Stop." The figure sprinted toward a waiting car. The rain blurred everything, lights streaking across the pavement. He jumped inside. Engine roaring. Cade reached me a second too late as the car sped away into the night. I bent down, breathing hard. Something glinted on the ground near the puddle. A wallet. I picked it up with trembling hands. Leather, soaked through, but the ID inside was intact. Name, Callan Ward. My blood ran cold. Cade stared at it, his face pale. "That's impossible," I whispered. "You said he was dead?" Took a step back, voice barely audible. "I said I thought he was. Then who the hell was that?" I demanded. Cade looked toward the rain where the car had vanished. His hands shook. "Someone who wants to finish what he started." Lightning flashed. Splitting the sky, I felt the world tilt against everything I believed about Callan. Mara, Cade, and love itself, collapsing into something darker. And in that storm, one truth rose above the rest. The real Callan was still alive, and he had just taken the only proof that could save us. The lake house stood like a shadow against the fog. Its windows were dark, its reflection trembling in the black water. I killed the engine. The silence felt too thick to breathe. Cade's hand rested on the door handle, knuckles white. "He's inside. I can feel it. You're sure?" I whispered. He nodded once. "Callan always came here when he wanted to disappear." The word disappear hit hard. I stepped out, gravel crunching under my shoes. The night was cold, every breath turning to mist. We pushed the door open. The hinges groaned. Inside smelled of mildew and dust, but also something sharper, gun oil. "Cade," I said quietly, "this could be a trap." Kept moving, eyes scanning the dark corners. "It's already a trap. We just don't know whose." Lightning flashed, illuminating a figure slouched on the couch. My stomach dropped. Callan. He looked up slowly, beard grown, eyes hollow. He still wore the same jacket from the night Mara vanished. A gun rested in his lap. For a moment, no one spoke. The rain hammered the roof. "You found me," he said finally, voice rough. "Took you long enough." Cade stepped forward. "What did you do to her?" Callan tilted his head. "You mean our Mara?" "Answer me," Cade snapped. Callan's smile twisted. "You always take what's mine. My life, my name, and now her." "That's not true," Cade said. I felt my heart pounding. "Callan, stop. You're not making sense." He stood, the gun lifting slightly. "She was supposed to love me. But she looked at you like you were the only one in the room. I saw it, the way she smiled when you spoke. The way you touched her hand when you thought I wasn't watching." Cade's voice cracked. "It wasn't like that." "She recorded everything," Callan said, taking a step closer. "Every lie. Every secret." I swallowed hard. "The drive. You stole it." He glanced at me. "I took it because no one was supposed to see that, especially you." "Why?" I asked. "What are you hiding?" He hesitated. His hand trembled slightly. "I didn't mean to hurt her. She found out what I did to Cade. I wanted to scare her, not lose her." Cade moved forward. "You hit her." Callan's voice broke. "She ran into the storm. I tried to follow, but she was gone." My mind spun. "So she's alive." Callan's eyes flickered. "Maybe. Or maybe the lake took her." The words stabbed through me. I looked at Cade. His jaw was tight, eyes burning. "You used me as bait. You wanted me to take the blame." Callan laughed bitterly. "And it worked. Everyone believed you were me. Even him." He nodded at me. "You slept beside a stranger and didn't notice." "Stop," I said. "You're brothers. This isn't who you are." Callan turned to me, eyes wild. "You think he's innocent? He's been pretending his whole life. You think Mara didn't see it too? She fell for him because he made her feel safe. But she was wrong. You all were." Cade stepped between us. Put the gun down. Callan's hand tightened on the grip. You don't get to give me orders. I'm not your enemy. You're my curse. They faced each other, mirror images in the flickering light. One shaking, one calm. Callan, I said softly, you can end this. We can all walk out. His voice dropped to a whisper. You don't understand. One of us has to disappear, and let it be me, Cade said. His eyes were steady. You want someone to blame? Take me. Just let him go. I grabbed his arm. Cade, don't. Turn to me. You believed me once. Believe me again. My throat ached. I do. The sound of the safety clicking off cut through the air. Callan's hand trembled harder now. Tears glistened on his face. She said she loved you. Both of you. I couldn't take it. Lightning flashed. For 1 second, everything froze. Then a gunshot split the night. The echo rolled over the lake, swallowing every sound after it. When I opened my eyes, smoke curled through the air. Someone had fallen, but in the blur of darkness and thunder, I couldn't tell who. Cade's voice broke through the ringing in my ears. Aaron, stay with me. But the world was spinning, the lake house walls fading away, and all I could think was one question, over and over. Who pulled the trigger? Rain, that was the first thing I heard when I woke up. Steady, cold, endless. The scent of metal filled the air. Gunpowder blood, Cade, I whispered. My throat was raw. My vision swam as I turned. He was on the floor beside me, hand pressed to his side, breathing shallow but alive. And Callan lay still. His eyes were open but empty, a small trail of red tracing down his temple. For a long time I couldn't move. The sound of the rain grew louder, crashing against the lake house walls. I felt my heartbeat pounding against my ribs. It's over, Cade said, his voice barely a breath. I wanted to believe him, but the silence felt wrong. I crawled closer and pressed my hand against his wound. You're bleeding too much, he smiled faintly. I've had worse. Ow. Stay awake. His hand found mine, cold and trembling. You saw it, right? He aimed at you. I nodded. I saw everything. I never wanted this, he whispered. I just wanted you to believe me. I do. I always did, I said, even when I shouldn't have. Sirens wailed in the distance, cutting through the storm. The lights flashed against the windows, blue and red. Blue and red. When the police burst in, I didn't speak. I just held Cade's hand until they pulled me away. Days passed. The world outside kept moving, but I stayed stuck in that room. Mara was found 3 days later, miles from the lake. She was thinner, quieter. Her eyes carried the kind of exhaustion that comes from surviving your own story. I met her at the hospital. She looked at me with a small smile. You made it out, so did you. She nodded, gaze lowering. Callan used to talk about control. How love meant keeping people close enough to never leave. I think I believed him once. And now? I asked. She took a deep breath. Now, I know love is letting go. Her voice cracked slightly, but she didn't look away. He wanted me to be part of his lie. But Cade, he tried to protect me. Both of us. I felt tears burning in my eyes. He almost died for it. She nodded slowly. Then maybe now he gets to live for something better. Later that night, I went back to the hospital. The rain had started again, just like that night. Cade was awake this time, sitting up with a bandage around his waist. The room smelled of antiseptic and rain-soaked air. You came, he said. I had to. He looked at me with tired eyes. Mara, she's safe. She knows everything now, he exhaled slowly. Good, maybe she can finally breathe. I stepped closer. And you? He looked down at his hands. They'll question me. Maybe arrest me. I was part of it, even if I didn't pull the trigger first. I sat beside him. You told the truth. That matters, he smiled faintly. Truth doesn't erase blood, Aaron. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The rain tapped softly against the window, rhythmic and almost peaceful. Then he reached out. His fingers brushed mine, tentative but real. Thank you, he said, for believing me when it mattered. I squeezed his hand. Just promise me one thing. What's that? When the storm ends, don't disappear again. He looked at me then, really looked. I won't, not this time. Our hands stayed there, locked in quiet understanding. Not lovers. Not enemies. Just two people bound by a story that nearly destroyed them both. When I left the hospital, the rain had slowed to a drizzle. Streetlights shimmered across wet pavement, turning the world gold and gray. For the first time in weeks, I felt the air fill my lungs without shaking. Maybe this was what peace sounded like. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A message. Unknown number. I opened it. You think the storm's over? But I never died. See, the rain started again. Harder this time. And just like that, I realized the storm hadn't ended at all. It was only beginning.